Krishna, dear devotees, my humble obeisances to you all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. Today we are continuing with Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter number 1, questions by Vidura. And today's verse is number 9. Hare Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'll share my screen again, Maharaj, with the verse. Coming up, Maharaj. Yeah, you can please take over.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yada Chaparta Brahita Sabamyam Jagadguru Yana Jagada Krishna Natani Pumsan Amritani Yani Rajorumene Shatam Punyaklesaha. Translation. Lord Krishna was sent by Arjuna into the assembly as the spiritual master of the whole world. And although his words were heard by some, like Bhishma, as a pure nectar, it was not so for others who were completely bereft of the last farthing of pious works. The king, Dhritarashtra or Duryodhana, did not take the words of Lord Krishna very seriously. Purport. Lord Krishna was the spiritual master of the entire universe. He accepted the duty of a messenger and, deputed by Arjuna, went to an assembly of King Dhritarashtra on a peace mission. Krishna is everyone's Lord, yet because he was the transcendental friend of Arjuna, he gladly accepted the role of a messenger, exactly like an ordinary friend. That is the beauty of the Lord's behavior with his pure devotees. He reached the assembly and spoke about peace, and the message was relished by Bhishma and other great leaders because it was spoken by the Lord himself. But due to the exhaustion of pious results of their past deeds, Duryodhana, or his father Dhritarashtra, did not take the message very seriously. That is the way of persons who have no credit of pious deeds. By past pious deeds, one may become the king of a country, but because the results of pious acts of Duryodhana and the company were dwindling, it became evident from their actions they were sure to lose the kingdom to the Pandavas. The message of Godhead is always like nectar to the devotees, but it's just the opposite to the non-devotees. Sugar cane is always sweet to a healthy man, but it tastes very bitter to persons suffering from jaundice. Om Gyan Timidandasya Gnana Salakaya Chakshu Inmelitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya De Satarine Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaja Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Krishna as Dut, messenger. So combination of Arjuna and Yudhisthira got together and wanting to avert any further conflict with the Kauravas, they asked Krishna to go and see if you can speak some sensibility into the heart of Duryodhana and his father Dhritarashtra. Krishna knew that Duryodhana was not in a position to change, but Krishna took the opportunity to go. He even said, "They are so impious. Whatever I say, they will completely ignore." But Krishna decided to go anyway. Bhima was also thinking, yes, you should go and try to make some peace. So Krishna went. When the news came that Krishna was coming to Hastinapur, Duryodhana became very concerned. At first he thought, when he gets here, I'm going to arrest him, put him in jail. But then he thought, in a more diplomatic way, he decided to honor Krishna's appearance. So he arranged for this huge feast with many entertainers, a grin, spectacular, a welcome for Krishna. When Krishna came and he was invited, Krishna refused. He said, I only eat food that is cooked with love. Your food is cooked with poison, or what we call envy of the Pandavas. The Pandavas are my dear friends. Therefore, I will not accept what you offer me. And then, of course, there's a song that's been composed based on that. Krishna went to the house of Vidura. And although Vidura wasn't home, Vidura's wife opened the door and greeted Krishna. She was so overwhelmed to see Krishna and surprised at the same time that she was looking for something to give Krishna, but there was nothing she could find. She found some bananas, and she started peeling the bananas and throwing the banana away and giving Krishna the peel. And Krishna was eating the peel because he was accepting her bhakti. So now Krishna wants to speak to the assembly of Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, and all of their followers. But Krishna is trying to reason with them that these Pandavas, they are the righteous owners of the kingdom, but since you have absorbed the kingdom, so please just give them 5 villages. And then Krishna named the 5 villages that's mentioned. And Duryodhana, he listened, but he said so many things negative against the Pandavas. And he ended by saying, I will not give them enough land to put a head of a pin on. Krishna knew. Now, why did Krishna go if he knew that Duryodhana wasn't going to actually respond in a positive way, or even in a slightly positive way? He knew he was so avaricious and greedy, but he wanted to show the world that the results of this would be the war, and it would be the fault of Duryodhana, not of Yudhisthira. Just to show the world that Duryodhana was the one that refused to make any kind of compromise to avert war, and not Yudhisthira, and to keep the quality of the Pandavas. And Duryodhana started to speak about how he was, the rightful ruler, and how he was also concerned about the Pandavas. But then Krishna just lashed right into him and said, yes, you tried to, you banished them in the forest, you put them in a house of lac, you tried to burn them down, you tried to kill them by a poisoned cake. In so many ways, you tried to destroy them. Duryodhana got so angry when Krishna was speaking that he got up and ran out of the assembly. And then he was out of the assembly, and everything was going chaotic. Now, Dhritarashtra was there. Krishna turned to Dhritarashtra and said, tell your son, he's not acting properly. He should make some compromise and let the Pandavas rule also. They don't even want the whole kingdom, just some villages. They're Kshatriyas, they have to rule. Dhritarashtra played the role of helplessness. He said, I can't convince my son. He doesn't listen to me. Krishna didn't like that at all. He saw that was a cop out from Dhritarashtra. So he pretty much stopped trying to get any. So after some time, some of the members of the parliament, they came out, they brought Duryodhana back. Duryodhana was still angry. He sat down and Krishna just lashed into him. He got so angry, he called his guards and said, arrest Krishna. So they came in with chains, very dutifully obeying their leader. And Krishna just sent this bright light from his body, and it just covered the whole area. No one could see anything. And in that light, he became a gigantic form. And in that form, all of the devas appeared on his body. The chief devas, especially Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Narada Muni, and the Pandavas were in Krishna's hands. His whole body was full of the universal contents, especially the great personalities. Everyone saw that. Duryodhana also saw that, and he criticized Krishna for making some kind of magic. So, and then Krishna left the situation. He was just disgusted about the whole thing. And why? But Krishna wanted to show the world that he knew that Duryodhana wasn't going to change. He knew that Dhritarashtra would act like he had no power to make any change, but he wasn't. He did have some power, but he didn't use it because he was so attached to his sons. And Draupadi, she was really angry because she was vilified in the assembly of Kurus, that she said, I put my hair down and I want to wash my hair with the blood of these personalities who have offended me. So Krishna did everything he could, knowing that they wouldn't do it anyway, just to show the world. And I'll read what Krishna did, and I'll read it why he did what he did. And this is Krishna was especially balancing the lives of countless innocent people. It was not a fear of conflict that led him to assume the role of peacemaker. He desired peace, but he was ready for war. He volunteered to become a peacemaker because he was aware that a conflict would have a devastating effect on everyone. Peace lovers, peace seekers, peace brokers, peacemakers, or peace wreckers. So he worked hard to facilitate a mutual agreement resolution to a political crisis that the society was experiencing at that time. That was one reason. Two, Krishna disapproved of cowardly peace proclamations. When someone seeks peace for fear of war, it's just a coward seeking refuge in a truce. Dhritarashtra, Bhishma, and Drona exemplified that in Hastinapur. Arjuna, too, advocated for such a truce just before the fight. Such peace seekers suggested allowing the Kauravas to do what they wanted to do. But Krishna refused to give in to the depravity of the wicked. He was against any peace treaty that gave in to evil or condemned people to a life devoid of honor, dignity, and higher values. His goal was to bring lasting and meaningful peace. Three, Draupadi epitomized hope for all women. If the perpetrators who publicly shamed the queen were allowed to escape punishment, guaranteeing her neither safety nor justice, imagine the inconceivable misery of the women who neither had the authority nor the voice. As a social reformer, Krishna stood for women's rights. As a peacemaker, one of his duties was to tell the people assembled and future generations that what happened to Draupadi was wrong and that he would put an end to such savage cruelty perpetrated by such wicked men. Four, it was important to expose the real warmongers for posterity and lay the blame where it belonged. Through the public discussion with Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra in Hastinapur, Krishna revealed their true nature to historians to assure that the blame rested on the Kauravas, the ones responsible for the war. Number 5, some people were fence sitters. Krishna coerced all of them into taking a side. Under the pretext of emergency, Bhishma, Drona, and Kripa had remained indecisive for too long. Krishna forced them to make their real allegiance clear. After the peace mission, they had no choice but to join forces with either the Pandavas, who represented altruistic dharma mentality, or the Kauravas, who represented the egocentric adharmic mindset. 6, these are different reasons Krishna did it. Beyond the opinions of the royal family lay the general public's take on the issue. Up until the peace mission, the public stance was vague and uncertain, but Krishna successfully swayed opinion in the Pandavas' family favor through his diplomatic peace mission. 7, Krishna always knew that Duryodhana was beyond redemption. However, his primary motivation, agreeing to negotiate peace, was to prevent Duryodhana from dragging innocent people into the conflict to protect himself. People with malicious intent would accuse Krishna of failing to prevent the war when he had the opportunity if he did not try. He was determined to give it his all one last time, believing that if the Kauravas had just heard him out, much destruction would be averted. To achieve this, he spoke using words that cannot be taken lightly, words that are precise and unambiguous, words that cannot be challenged, words spoken calmly to appeal to the heart, words backed by logic and reason, words chosen carefully. Number 8, Krishna wanted to build mental pressure. First, he came from Dwarka to Hastinapur in a chariot laden with the mightiest weapons, signaling his intention to destroy evil. Second, he replaced his regular charioteer Daruka with Satyaki, the second most powerful warrior, implying that they were prepared for a small battle if necessary. Third, Krishna turned down Duryodhana's carefully planned royal hospitality and chose to stay with Vidura, sending a strong message to the royalty and adding mental pressure on them because Duryodhana's loss of faith was all anyone in Hastinapur could talk about. Because Duryodhana's loss of faith was all anyone could talk about. Number 9, which is the last one, Krishna's visit impacted every single person differently, especially after his Vishwarup darshan. Before the Vishwarup darshan, the courtroom was in a state of diplomatic and rational discourse. But after it, the realm became divine. The indescribable event can only be experienced, not verbalized. It invoked different reactions, touching people differently. Remorse planted the seed of change in some people. A new awareness set some on course to atone for their sins. For some, it brought back memories of the past and the feeling of dread. It moved some to a greater level of self-awareness and accountability. It severely harmed the self-esteem of others. Regardless of the impact, everybody
Hare
left that
Krishna Mataji.
a different person.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, these are 9 different reasons why Krishna chose to be a messenger, knowing he would expose the real truth behind Duryodhana's plan to not only to usurp the kingdom, but to blame the Pandavas for everything that went wrong. Okay, any questions? comments?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much. Will you able to share that document which you just read about this reasons, Maharaj, with all of us?
It's part of a book.
Oh, okay.
I'll
Okay.
give you the name of the book, and then you can get the
Sure,
book.
Maharaj. Yeah. Dear devotees, please turn on your cameras if possible, and you can go ahead with the questions and comments or realizations if you have any. And if you can't speak, you can type in the chat box.
See, now
Bhavya,
you can understand more about this war. People don't really know the details and the intrigue, and a lot of the things that were going on behind the scenes, and how Krishna wanted to do everything to divert war, but he knew it wasn't possible. But to exonerate the Pandavas for any blame, and at the same time put them in the position of ruling the world, he did whatever he could. Krishna is also working every day to wake us up to the reality of our happiness, which means devotional service. But even though we hear from Krishna, we hear from the spiritual master, we're still very much attached to our own ideas and our own ways of doing things. So, in the same way as Duryodhana was very attached to his own ideas, no matter what he heard or what he even saw, still he would not change. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, it is lust and lust only, which comes in contact with the material mode of passion and transform it into wrath, which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of the world. So lust is attachment for material sense gratification. So even in our practice of Krishna consciousness, we understand what is right, but we can't do it for whatever reason. We can't make that leap of faith to depend on Krishna and simply work according to his direction. Why? Because of our attachment to this material world is very strong. And so Krishna is doing whatever he can through his spiritual empowered personality, especially the spiritual master and others, to bring his mission into the world, and that is to bring everyone to the platform of self-realization, Krishna consciousness. For some of us, it takes many lifetimes. For others, it's impossible. We'll never get there. And for others, there may happen in one lifetime. Depends how much we understand the reality of our existence in terms of how, what is real success in life. Real success in life is to fulfill all our desires perfectly and completely. And that can only be filled on the spiritual platform. Material activities cannot fulfill desires. They just create more desires and they leave you unfulfilled in the present desires. But what is our desire? Our desire is to live forever and to always be happy. That's our two desires. No one wants to die. No one wants to undergo difficulty or suffering. Those are the two main things. So only Krishna consciousness can provide that. Everyone is looking for that, but everyone is looking for it in the wrong place. We use a little analogy. One man, he's looking on the ground. He's looking. His friend comes along and said, "My dear sir, oh, you're my friend. Yes. What are you looking for? I lost something. What did you lose? I lost some money. Oh, all right, I'll help you look for it." So he comes and starts helping his friend. They're both looking. After a while, the man says to the person, "Do you sure you lost the money here? I don't see anything." He said, "No, I didn't lose it here. I lost it down the street, but there's more light here. There's more light here." The story of life.
yes, Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. Bhavya Prabhu, you have raised your hand previously.
Did we lose anybody yet? No, not yet.
Maharaj, Bhavya Prabhu is with you.
Yeah, he's here, so
Okay,
he's
he
going
wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
Guru Maharaj, as you said that Duryodhan, like no matter how much you explain to him, he is not gonna change. But what if
Krishna knew that too. Krishna knew that.
yeah,
But still, he wanted to exonerate the Pandavas from any blame that he knew there would be a war. So, but to show that Duryodhana was the one who initiated the war, not the Pandavas.
yeah. But what if Lord Krishna, in case he had like explained Duryodhana everything that he is the supreme personality of Godhead and everything in details, all the philosophy that that everyone deserves to know. If Krishna had explained all of that to Duryodhana, would he still change?
Well, we see it every day. We know Krishna is God, we still don't listen. we're you know, that's our program to somehow put welcome Krishna in when he's there to agree with us. When he doesn't agree with us, then you know we will put him on hold.
Yes. Maharaj, one more question.
The same thing. You say you make it sound like Duryodhana is the only he's the example for all of us.
Yeah.
But Krishna was personally present there. And so that in that case it was a little different.
And
But he's still personally present in his holy name, in his deity form. Yeah.
yeah. My second question is that I've heard many times that if someone sees Krishna, they just go mad and they would just not look at any other thing except Krishna. So why was Duryodhana not like
Why didn't Krishna
liberated
why didn't
when
Krishna
Krishna was
reveal
there
him?
present in front of?
He's, he's not trying to create people artificially to surrender to him. Bhakti is voluntary. Bhakti comes from understanding what is our relationship with Krishna and making it happen. Krishna can make the whole world Krishna conscious if he wants. That's not hard for him. But then he destroys the main principle of bhakti, which is voluntary. Bhakti is voluntary because love is voluntary. Love cannot be forced.
Yeah. They will be destroyed.
Yeah. He gives us our freedom to choose. And when you choose, the results are glorious when you choose the right way. But if you're forced, it says that you may not even maintain it because of being forced.
No pious credit, pious deeds.
Hmm?
Duryodhana, he doesn't have that pious deed.
Well, he had, it says he had pious deeds, but he was losing him because of his activities. To become king, he had to have pious deeds.
It is sanskaras.
Hmm. It mentions in that same narration I was reading from that he was considered to be a great soul, but he went off because he got greedy, avaricious, greed, egocentricics. We see that even, I know one devotee, this recently happened within the last couple of years, very dedicated person, very dedicated. Was serving his spiritual master very nicely, was doing whatever he could, had a nice family. All of a sudden, something happened, not to him, but outside of him, which caused him to get so against the whole society that he left and start fighting fault with everybody.
He was like anti-ISKCON.
Hmm?
He was like anti-ISKCON.
He's anti, yeah, His father's a devotee, his mother's a devotee. I was one of his friends. He turned against all of us for no reason, because something came up that disturbed him in another person's life, and he put that as an emblem of our society. How that could happen. I don't know, there was something, and then he just went off, and he's still off. He's not only off, he's blaspheming people. So yeah, it can happen because there's something there still there's still material attachments there. We have to understand that program. As long as you have any pinch of material attachment, if you don't remove it in due course of time, it can again turn back into something very big by circumstance, by association.
Thank
That's
you.
why you have to stay on the path and keep making progress towards the goal. As soon as you stop, you slow down, you have a chance of going back to what you were before. Maybe not in the same way. So material energy is very, very powerful and can overshadow. People turn against their spiritual master. They turn against God for because of certain strong attachments to something in this material world. Attachment becomes so strong that they can't hear anything. Duryodhana saw Krishna revealed his Vishwarup. He saw it, but he thought it was some magic that Krishna was performing. That's all. And still, he didn't change.
Whereas we can use this logic in front of atheists as well when they ask that why is God not showing? We can give them this example of Duryodhana. That you might reject God just like how Duryodhana did, calling it a hologram or something like that. Magic trick. Yeah, magic trick.
When you're faithless, you can somehow always find evidence to support your faithlessness.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to believe, you can create the support to that. That's the way the world is. You can always fortify your ideas, no matter how ridiculous they are. But there is truth. Truth comes from the source of truth, nowhere else.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah, we have a question from Pavani.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All Gurus to Srila Prabhupada and you. Maharaj, in Kurukshetra war, before Kurukshetra war, Krishna told Bhagavad Gita to only Arjuna. And in Bhagavad Gita also he mentions that I'm telling you this because you're not envious and you're my most dear friend. But all the Pandavas were also almost like on the same level of Arjuna. They had the same devotion towards Krishna. So why did Krishna only choose Arjuna?
You're saying Krishna was partial? If you have many students, you look for the outstanding student to give them the confidential knowledge, knowing that they will bring it to others. Yudhisthira was also very righteous. But he saw something in Arjuna that was different than everyone else. Not only being his best friend in terms of his association, but also he saw that he had complete faith in Krishna. When Yudhisthira was asked to tell a lie, he hesitated. Bhima even differed from Krishna sometimes in how things should go on, but not Arjuna.
So, Maharaj, I think you said that Arjun had like complete faith in Krishna, and other Pandavas, they did have faith in Krishna, but when it was like some circumstances, they have to listen to Krishna.
They didn't lose faith in Krishna. They just had different ways of seeing the same thing.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj.
I agree with you, but I might see it from a different angle of vision. Arjuna was not like that.
Thank you, Maharaj. We have two questions by Parijata Mataji. She have put on chat. So she is asking, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and you. My question is, do we understand God's message because of our past karma or because of our own humility now? Could Duryodhana have chosen to listen, or was he karmically locked into rejecting Lord Krishna?
Or did Duryodhana what? What was the first part of Duryodhana's statement?
Or could Duryodhana have chosen to listen, or was he karmically locked into rejecting Lord Krishna?
Well, I don't know if it was karmic, but he was avaricious. He wanted that kingdom for himself. He didn't want any compromise.
Hmm.
He was just against any idea that he was going to share the kingdom with the Pandavas, who were actually the rightful heirs to the kingdom. He usurped that kingdom because Dhritarashtra was the brother of Pandu, but Dhritarashtra would have been the next king. But he wasn't qualified to be king because he was blind. Therefore, Duryodhana felt that he was the rightful heir because he was the son of Dhritarashtra, who would have been the king if he wasn't blind. But actually, the throne was meant for Yudhisthira, who was the direct son of Pandu. So Duryodhana reasoned in a different way, which was outside of Dharma.
Okay, Maharaj. Yeah. And
Because
sorry.
he was greedy. You might say his greediness came from his past. But it mentions in the book I was reading that because he was in power, he had some piety. But because of his activities, his piety was dwindling because pious activities run out. They're like money, and once you spend them, then they become less.
So she is also asking, like, do we understand bhakti because of our past karma or our humility now?
A combination of both. Our past karma allows us to connect with the process, and humility allows us to become successful in the execution of the process. So both, one is leading us to bhakti, and the other one is actually the principle by which bhakti becomes successful. You understand?
Hmm. Yes,
You look like you're
Mataji.
deep thought there.
Parijata Mataji, you want to unmute and
Yeah.
Okay, Maharaj. And then we have a second question by her.
Parajata, jump online and let me
Yeah.
hear what you have to say.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm so sorry, Maharaj. I couldn't turn my camera on. I'm in hospital, so a lot of stuff is going on. So I had to come to the room. Yes, because somebody asked me this question a few hours ago. There was a patient who is suffering from cancer of some kind, and someone distributed. Bhagavad Gita and the whole Bhagavatam set to this person, and then he was saying that is it my karma to understand it and to do the bhakti, and why did it take me so long to get here? I mean, if disease was the catalyst, if disease is something that is forcing me to surrender to God, then it's my bad karma because I should have done bhakti when I was young. I was not doing that. So he had all these questions. That's why I had read the verse in the morning and I was just thinking about it. So I asked the question. Maharaj, my second question is about how, our mentality when we make a mistake. And, I just wanted to know what are the signs, that ego is blocking us from hearing what we need to hear, the right advice. And how does accepting our mistakes make us more open to divine guidance?
Well, yeah, that's obvious. When you accept the fact that you made a mistake, then you can understand what caused the mistake and how you can rectify that. And that is both the divine guidance and the mercy of the Lord in terms of helping us getting through the situation. But when ego is there, then we start thinking in terms of what can I gain from this? And then not in terms of spiritual gain, but what can I gain in fulfilling my desires? That's ego. Ego is the pinnacle or the pillar by which the mind becomes trapped into accepting things that are material, even in the subtle form. The ego is so subtle, and many of the desires of the mind become filtered through the ego, and one cannot even see that, such as wants some honor, some position, some remuneration for something I've done, or just to be noticed. In other words, there's various types of subtleties that come through the false ego. You do something good and you start taking the credit for what you did. That's also part of the false ego.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. I have another question, Guru Maharaj, because a few minutes ago you were discussing about some devotee who lost his faith in things, and then he was going against the movement and doing things. So there's a loss of purity, and I think it happens to a lot of people. They fall from grace. So if spiritual taste depends on purity, Maharaj, how does one rebuild this taste after it has been lost?
First of all, before they can make this first step in building it, they have to realize that they need help. If they think they can do it by themselves, they'll find that they'll make the same mistakes that brought them to where they are. They need help. So humility becomes what we say, the feature by which one is willing to accept the fact that I made mistakes, but humility is also there to say, I need guidance, I need help. I can't do it. And then that will lead one to getting the solution. And usually that comes by way of, again, re-entering the association of devotees. And especially devotees who are advanced enough to give guidance and direction. When we make a mistake, a lot of times we want to hide behind the mistake and make it minimize the effect doing to make it seem like it's not so important. Or I can solve it. That's another feature of the false ego. So our society is set up in such a way is that when you make a mistake and then you realize the mistake, you can either go away and hide and try to kind of get away from everyone so you can hide from the fact that you made a mistake and things are going wrong. Or you can open yourself up and come back into the association of devotees and look for help and guidance. When one senior devotee, he fell down, he was a sannyasi, he fell down, and the devotees within the movement start talking about him in a negative way. When Prabhupada heard about that, he became upset. He said, now you made it difficult for him to come back. Yeah, so when people, if we don't get support from the general body of devotees, then and if we get some negativity from devotees, then we want to run the other way just to protect ourselves from any further, what we say, hurt that is already there by the activities we perform. When devotees are not forgiving, when the devotees are not willing to come back and help, it makes it hard. But devotees should try to come back and find that association which is compassionate and ready to give whatever they need, and that is there in our society. But sometimes it's not so easily available. Of course, they can't always find it right away. Yeah, a lot of times that happens. You make a mistake and you want to run the other way and hide from it and get away from the situation that caused you to make a mistake, and the devotees who are maybe not so forgiving for what you did. But that just makes it worse. It takes a really strong person to say, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I want to come back. I want to rectify myself. I want to get back into devotional service. You know, that's hard, but that's the only way that things will change.
Mm. That's really, really beautiful, Maharaj. That's really powerful. Thank you so much. And this is going to help a lot. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Maharaj, even I wanted to ask this type of question, what Parijata Mataji asked right now. So we have a lot of help around us and we have all the devotees present, but still we don't have faith. I think devotees lack faith on each other to get help or to be associated with the devotees and share their hearts and open up and talk freely about their problems or sadhana or anything, Maharaj. I noticed that.
You need, generally, you need to have someone you can go to who you can trust.
Mm.
You can't just go to anybody, even within the devotee society. You need to go to someone that you know will not be there to say, I told you so. Why did you do it? Nah, nah, No, they'll welcome you back and try to help you get back in, not condemning you for what went wrong, but to inspire you to get back into the process again.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, oh,
Yes, ma'am.
sure.
Yeah,
Sridevi's got a question that's related to what we're saying.
okay, Maharaj. Yeah.
About what Bhavya was asking Guru Maharaj about Krishna, when the Kauravas were bent on usurping the rights of the Pandavas, Krishna could have easily finished all of them. Why did he allow such a ghastly war to take place where so many innocents were also killed and such a terrible?
Now you're blaming Krishna. She's blaming Krishna for the war now.
He's all about
She's blaming you're one of these gross materialists who everything goes wrong. It's his fault because he's all powerful and he can stop it. Here she goes. Oh no, she sounds like a neophyte that just came out of kindergarten. Come on, where do you get that question from? Why you're blaming the Supreme Personality of Godhead that he's full of faults, and you're pointing the fault that it was his fault that everybody died in the war.
I'm just saying that he's the supreme, all-powerful person.
Yeah, everybody says that. He's the supreme, all-powerful, but my kid died at a young age. See, he blew it. He didn't do anything. It happens every day. People are blaming God for what's going wrong in their life. You're doing the same thing.
Neglecting karma.
Yeah?
Neglecting karma, past life karma.
Yeah, neglecting the karma. Or not seeing the ultimate good that would come. And Krishna showed the ultimate good. What was the righteousness would win out.
Because Guru Maharaj, everyone like joined the war with their free will. Krishna didn't control anyone. Krishna didn't force anyone to fight.
Yeah,
Everyone did.
he tried to avert the war. But if he would have just, washed his hands in the whole thing, then Duryodhana would have been victorious. He protected the Pandavas, but at the same time, he pointed out where all the faults were, not in the Pandavas. I can't believe you asked that question.
Anjali Mataji, please go ahead. Anjali Mataji, please unmute. Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
Hi Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the devotees. Go
ahead,
Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, what Parijat Mataji just asked, I had a follow-up question. When someone make mistake, it is followed by guilt. We are haunted by guilt. How to overcome that and forgive ourselves, though we admit it? How to overcome the guilt which we suffer?
Guilt might be the immediate reaction, but we shouldn't stay in that mood of guilt. We should do something to, again, rectify what we had done that's wrong, which caused us to be affected by guilt, and then get back into right action again. We make mistakes. Prabhupada used to say, to fall down is third class, to get back up is first class. So don't stay down and wallow in your own guilt. That will not solve any problems, and it'll just create another problem. Well, you lose faith in what you're doing because you think, I can't do it.
Yes, Guru
The
Maharaj,
thing
that
is,
happens.
sometimes persons who are good at doing things, when something goes wrong, it becomes so much a problem that they can't pick up from there because it's just too much.
So Guru Maharaj, at that time, what should we do? What is the process to seek help?
I think I explained that when I was answering the question of Parijata. You should have someone, you shouldn't even seek help. You should know where to go when you need help. That should be already in place. Someone you can really trust, someone who's qualified to give you the help you need. Like that could be the spiritual master, or it could be some senior devotee in our movement, or it could be someone who is qualified to do that service.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Everyone should have a situation where if something goes wrong, they don't run into some, what we say, mental hideaway and then somehow or other gravitate down, simply lamenting their situation. They should think, I need help. Let me go to this person who's my close friend, who's helped many other people also. Everyone should have a close friend in Krishna conscious. Everyone. And it can't be your husband or wife, because there's too much familiarity in that relationship. And you have to come to that. Everyone should have a close friend they can go to. And the reason why the spiritual master may not always be available, but if you can go to the spiritual master and get whatever you need, then that's also considered to be acceptable. We are not perfect until we reach perfection.
Yeah.
And we make mistakes. There's four defects of the conditioned soul. One of them is to make mistakes. Draupadi made a mistake. Kunti made a mistake by not telling the Pandavas, her husbands. She was the husband of all of she was the wife of all 4 or 5 Pandavas. That Karna was her son also. He was also their brother. She didn't say anything. And they wound up killing their own brother.
Thank you so much,
Yudhishthira, he became so angry that he cursed. He cursed Kunti. He made a general curse. His curse was that women can never keep a secret. That was the curse.
She did go to Karna, isn't it, and pleaded with him not to kill the Pandavas, saying that they are all your brothers. At that time, Karna said, "But I have given my allegiance to Duryodhana. Now I cannot do anything. But I promise you that
Pandavas didn't know Karna was their brother.
No, she went. She went, and he said, "Okay, I will not kill all 5. I will kill only 1. That way, you will still have 5 sons."
Yeah, but Karna was like that. But the Pandavas didn't know.
Didn't know, yeah.
Pandavas would have known, they would have like let
They,
Karna would have.
they would have welcomed him as a brother. They were righteous.
But he's wrong, Guru Maharaj, for siding with the Duryodhana even after knowing.
But he was maintained by Duryodhana just like Bhishma was maintained by Duryodhana. There was some obligation there because he was also ousted. He had no position, not anywhere, because he was seen as a Sudra.
Guru Maharaj in the Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya of Shripad Madhvacharya, there is scripture Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya of Shripad Madhvacharya, previous Acharya after Vedyas. So he writes in the Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya that in Karna there were 3 souls in Karna's body. So whenever he spoke something righteous, it was Suradeva speaking. And whenever he spoke something stupid and rubbish, it was Dambodha Rakshas who was speaking.
Yeah, the history of Karna's past life also is very interesting. Actually, Govinda, disciple of Radha Swami, has written a whole book called Karna. He was a little bit, how we say, wicked.
Sahastra Kavach. Something like that. Sahastra.
Maharaj, we have a question by Suma Mataji. Suma Mataji, please, you can unmute.
Suma?
Yeah, yes, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances unto you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and you. All glories to devotees.
Hare Krishna, obeisances.
Mataji, your voice is breaking.
Maharaj,
Yeah.
Is that okay, Mataji?
Yeah, now it is okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I have a question about chanting maras. So I some days when we are in low because of health reasons, uh, like yesterday only, I was completely down with my all my appointments and the low energy. I couldn't complete the rounds what I am doing right now at least. And chanting bag is with me always yesterday, but I couldn't do. And I was listening to the lectures, but for some reason I don't know. Like I was not able to do the chanting, but I listened to the lectures and everything. Uh,
Yeah,
Yesterday night I couldn't sleep properly, and I was promising to somebody saying that since I didn't do my rounds, I will complete yesterday's and today's. But I am not in that energy today also. If I don't do, I don't know. I'm like,
um,
what should be like? What should I tell to myself if I didn't? I am not well to do it, and how can I take that? Like,
can you can
what
you
should I tell to myself? Basically?
can you write? Can you
Yes.
write? Can you write on pieces of paper?
Okay.
Can you write?
Mataji, Maharaj is saying that can you write on the piece of paper the mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, instead of chanting?
Uh,
I think she doesn't have energy to do that also, Maharaj. Yeah.
Can she chant in her mind?
Can you?
but, uh,
That's what I do. Sometimes I get
like
so weak.
it goes my
Your voice is breaking, Mataji. Please turn on off your camera and try again.
Sometimes I find myself being very weak and I have no energy, and I chant in my mind because to sound this mantra, sometimes I get so tired I can't do it because for whatever reason it comes and goes sometimes. So I just chant in my mind.
I can.
So that's one way of chanting. Just hear the sound in the mind. That's all. You don't have to put out any energy, at least not so much energy, a little bit of mental energy.
Okay.
Try it.
Okay.
But you can
Yeah.
also listen.
Sure.
You can listen to turn on Prabhupada chanting and just listen to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen to
I
Prabhupada.
am doing that, Maharaj. I think some days. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you're struggling with health, so try doing it by listening or by chanting in your mind, something. Listen to Prabhupada's chanting. That's nice.
Sure, Maharaj. Sure, Maharaj. Thank you.
Never get discouraged. If you make a little effort, Krishna will make up the difference. You like the smell of that, huh?
But
It's a nice little container.
yeah,
Yeah. Did we run out of questions?
So we have a 1 second. Rishabh Prabhu has posted Hare Krishna dear Gurudev and Vaishnavas. It was mentioned that Duryodhana's pious karma was diminishing. I was wondering if that is possible, as pious and impious karma don't neutralize each other, but both manifest at some point of time. Dhritarashtra needed to get and lose the 100 sons.
Well, pious and impious activities can diminish in turn due course of time.
Mm.
Yeah. they're not mutually nullifiable, but they, as time goes on, they become less. You have to keep feeding, just like it says people get to the heavenly planets by pious activities. But then it says, Sita Punya, what is that verse? Vishanti? And they fall down again. Was it? No. Shinya Punya Vishanti. You know that verse?
Oh, but I don't remember the exact.
Well, it means that it's like pious credits are like gasoline in the car.
Is it 920? Bhagavad Gita 920.
It might be. It's in Bhagavad Gita.
I just checked.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. Bhavya Prabhu wants to add something.
It's 921.
921. Bring up 921.
Okay.
921 Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, Maharaj. Coming up. 921.
Many people in Buddhism, they don't know.
Yes, Maharaj. Coming up. Yeah.
Tetam bhuktam sarvaloka vishalam shinya punya marta loka vishanti evam tradharma anuprapapanam katagata tam kama kama labhyante. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. So yeah, so pious activities are expendable. And when they run out, then something else is there. You can still keep building up pious activities, but they also run out in due course of time. The results of pious activities are materially rewards. That's all. Good birth, good material situation where you have enough, resources to live nicely, bodily beauty, longevity of life. These are all pious activities. But they run out. Devotional activities don't run out. They remain fixed in the person and they just build. Everything material is changeable, dispendable. Okay, Rishabh, you got it?
Yeah. He wants to ask anything else?
Just a follow up, Maharaj, because here it was mentioned that Duryodhana's pious activity was diminishing because of his sinful reactions. At least I understood it from this text.
Yeah.
So it seems that when you are doing, if you're doing impious activities, you're actually also not only accumulating impious, but you're also spending even more pious activities. So that's why it sounds like it's neutralizing itself in the end. So that's why.
It is, you have to get the benefit of both. So he was building up his impious activities and starting to receive the results of those.
Okay, yeah, this is then.
King Nirga. If you read the story of King Nirga in the Bhagavatam, that explains all that.
Thank you, Maharaj. Do devotees any more questions? Otherwise, we can go to Bhavya.
You got your hand up there.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add like 2 points on 2 different topics. Like Guru Maharaj, you quoted that verse from.
Can you hear him from where he is?
He can be a little louder.
Yeah, they can't hear you.
They can't hear.
Yeah, get closer. Come on up closer. Now speak.
Guru Maharaj, you quoted that reference from Bhagavad Gita 9.21, Kshidam Punyam, that one. So in India, majority Sanatanis, Hindus, they think that once they go to Swarga Loka, it's just their final destination and they're never gonna come back.
Well, whatever they think is one thing, whatever is the reality is different.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. And I just wanted to add that point when you said to that Mataji, that little Mataji, when she was asking about why Krishna was choosing Arjuna over other Pandavas. So uh, in the war, when Ashwatthama had fired that weapon, I think it was Narayanastra. So, no, Narayanastra. Brahmastra was in the last. So once like Ashwatthama fired the Narayanastra, and the only way to mitigate that astra is to just bow down to that astra. It's like that. But Bhim, he was not listening to Krishna. Krishna like asked him like you should bow down or else the astra will kill everyone if you don't bow down. Krishna ordered all the what do you say, the soldiers from of his side to go down. So the astra will not do anything because it is Narayan astra, astra of Krishna. So if you throw anything at Narayan astra, it joins the Narayan astra and it comes back to you. It's like that. So Bhim was like very much like his was like aggressive, and he was like, I'm not gonna bow down to the astra shot by Ashwatthama because he used to hate him so much. So Krishna had to like hold his neck and make him like bow down to that astra, or else the astra would have killed Bhima. So that's one more reason uh, why Krishna has chosen Arjuna and not other Pandavas. As you said, you gave an example of Yudhishthira. So
Yeah, yeah, that's the example with Bhima.
yeah, yes, Maharaj.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Maharaj, we are almost 1 hour 20 minutes into the class. So can we chant a one round if there are no more questions?
You have time to chat? You don't have to
If
leave.
you have, if you have time, then we can do, Maharaj.
Do you want to chat? Are you leaving tonight? Good. Okay. You want anybody want to chant? Yeah. Yes. Okay, we have a unanimous yes here.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay.
Maharaj, I just want to quickly announce tomorrow's class. Tomorrow's class is with Harrisburg devotees at the same time, and verse is Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 5th chapter, verse number 227. 227, and I'll post the Zoom link in the WhatsApp groups.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Srimad
Now
Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada.
you wanted to know about the book. Here's
Yes,
the
Maharaj,
book.
that is, I guessed it is Shubhavalas Prabhu's, yeah, undefeatable. Thank you, Guru.
It's book 1 of the Mahabharata.
Mhm. Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. So, with the mercy of the Pancha Tattva, we can approach Krishna in his holy name. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Be back clean? No, same thing. Get it clean. Wash it tonight, and then it'll be.
Because my ankle broke, I forgot to change it.
Okay. But even if you wash that, it'll dry overnight. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Go get that rasgulla for Bhavesh. You know where it is, right? It's right on the counter there with all this stuff. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Yeah, this, put it here. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare. He's coming back again. Yeah. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Bhavesh. There you go.
I'll have it right after our session.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Ram, Ram. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare 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 Ram Ram Krishna Krishna. Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare 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 Ram. Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Need to run around all the time. Stuck in one place, you know. Be running around. Yeah. You know, kirtan, you just jump around, maybe. I can't sit in one place so long. For 3 hours. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare.
Bring up at 7:30, so I'll go down, take my dinner and then come.
Okay, tomorrow also 7:30.
Yes,
So we 7 o'clock.
7.
And everybody's on board?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna be here. You guys initiate the whole thing. What Zoom link are you gonna use?
The same one.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. This has to be over by that.
Right, after it's over.
Okay. Make sure. Tomorrow is Harrisburg. On the studio, she knows how to keep programs going. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay. Just apologize to Krishna.
Yes, great.
Tell him you didn't really mean what you said.
Yes, great. I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna. We have I don't know what rasa we have, but it's like 3 or 4 different rasas all mixed up into one. Most of them are the sub rasas. Humor, ghastliness, dread, chivalry, wonder. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. If you want to stop, we can stop. You want to continue? Yeah. I finished my rounds this morning, but I can always chant extra. That's no problem. I just can't look at this computer anymore. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare.
Maharaj, if you are okay, can we stop chanting? Can I stop?
It's up to you. You guys can continue as long as you want.
Yes, Maharaj. Even I have to go, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you just do what you have to do. What you have to do.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, dear devotees. We'll see you all tomorrow again. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Thank you.